My friend who works at Disney literally had someone have a medical episode while on camera with the person who was telling them you don't qualify. And the guests started to have a visual medical episode right there.
Hello, my friends. I don't know how to use a cast member. You gotta do it. You gotta take the lead here, Jessica.
Okay, well, here's actually a little fun anecdote since I feel like we're getting started.
Yes, of course.
So, cast members used to say very often, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. But with now the inclusivity key being introduced into the cast members' like repertoire, now they encourage cast members to say, hello, everyone, or hello, my
Friends.
friends.
Oh,
Hi,
I love that.
friends. Hi, friends.
And that's becoming a new thing in teaching too, that like instead of saying, hey, go talk to your parents or go talk to your hey, your guardians,
You're right.
your
Oh,
grown-ups.
you're grown up.
You know what's so weird is that there's a lot of people that like hate that. They get mad when teachers don't say your parents. And it's like,
Not everyone is necessarily going to be a kid's parent. They might be looking after the child, but they might not be the
well, even they don't like that mom and dad isn't used because they're trying to turn it into like a,
whole.
oh my gosh, well they so you're just trying to shove down that this cat has
Oh
two
my
dads.
gosh.
It's like, no, that kid's raised by their grandparents. Like, does that bother you too? Like,
Well, that's a whole thing too that people try to say that, oh, Disney World and Disneyland is supposed to be so like it's for families only. It's for, moms and dads. So like Disney shouldn't be going woke. And it's like, no, Disney
Disney's
is
for everybody. Okay. So, okay, before I get into this, I have to, because people always get really mad. And I don't like, hello everyone, this is Jessica. And I'm like, I love just going in with the conversations. Like, that's a very me kind of thing. But some people get really upset. Like,
okay.
you're not showing your guest respect. And I'm like, Jessica's been my friend for 5 years. She don't, well, like, for like 3 years. I don't know what I'm saying. But like, she don't care. She don't care that we're just talking
Yeah,
like we've been doing for 3 days
we are
just
professional
on
actors.
camera. Anyways, hi guys, this is Jessica. You've already seen her on an episode about hotel workers.
Yes, hotel workers. We did a bad apple together. That was
Yes, that was I love that
that.
episode. Oh, I need to post that today. Don't let me forget.
Oh, I
It's
will.
already a day late, but it's fine. They know my life's not together. It'd be like that sometime.
It do be like that sometimes.
But Jessica was a hotel worker in Disney. And so we already knew that we were going to do 2 episodes together.
Yes, no, it was literally
Yeah.
last time we hung out. I was like, okay, I want to do an episode about cast members because you were a cast member, but also most of my content's about working in hotels. So it was like, let's start with the hotel aspect first because that's where most people know me from
Yes.
is from working in hotels. But fun fact, I was a concierge cast member for over a year, and I worked at 13
That's
different
crazy.
hotels at Walt Disney World.
That's wild.
My favorite.
That's so many.
I know.
Wasn't it Polynesian?
Oh, okay, maybe.
Yeah.
Might be tied for favorites.
Okay.
Polynesian costume, which is what cast members call their uniform, because cast members
Right.
on a stage,
Absolutely.
whole thing. So instead of wearing uniforms, we wear costumes.
I love it.
Our costume was so comfortable. It's so nice. And what's really interesting too at the Polynesian, it is the only place where the managers and like the supervisors are allowed to wear more casual wear. Because
Oh,
usually the all of like the supervisors and everyone that's higher up has to wear a very specific costume throughout all of the resorts except Polynesian.
wow.
Because Polynesian is supposed to be more laid back.
Yeah, vacation-y.
Uh,
Oh, I like.
Polynesian inspired, and it just wasn't right for the look and the culture for them to be in like business suits. So they're the only ones who get to wear just like casual looking clothes.
I like that though. But yeah, okay, that would be my favorite word
And
that.
I would say Port Orleans, Riverside, French Quarter, shout out, but Riverside are those are my two favorite resorts, not only to be a guest at, but also to work at.
The Orleans is so pretty.
Yeah, well, that's the one where we stayed and I got us the princess room. Pris-
But like this, I'm biased because my family's from New Orleans, Homa. Like I'm a little bit biased. It's so pretty and it reminds me of home and it's beautiful.
So
But
beautiful.
I have so many questions, and I will come back to what I was going to ask you
Yeah.
before because I know it's like it shouldn't be a hot button issue, but it is a hot button issue. But first, I want to hear how you came to Disney, what made you decide you wanted to become a cast member, what that kind of looked like getting into it, like all the things. I'll stop. I'll shut up.
No, don't girl.
No, sometimes people will comment, they're like, "You ramble," and I'm like, "No, I match the energy that I need to match."
Okay, it's fine.
Okay, go ahead.
We get on so many
I
tangents,
know, but it's so
and we're like,
good.
rewind, where was
But, like, you're also someone that will talk back with me. Sometimes I have to if someone is more shy and reserved, which is fine, I'll do more, but I don't have to do that with you.
No.
So I'm gonna shut up.
No,
Go
we're
ahead.
both professional yappers. No, so I knew for a long time that I wanted to work in hospitality. And I went into college as a business major thinking I don't really know what I want to do with my life. And then one of my college friends said, well, don't you want to work for Disney someday? And back whenever I was in college, Disney was like the dream place to go work.
Mhm.
And so I was like, yeah, that's my end goal. And she said, then why don't you go get a degree in hospitality? Which, by the way, I want to clear this up from our hotel videos because I saw one person comment this and I was very like, no, 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 that's not what I meant. You do not have to have a hospitality degree to work in hospitality or get very far. There are plenty of people who are amazing managers and get so far into that industry without ever needing a degree. It just can make things, slightly
Right,
easier,
right,
to have that background, but it is by no means necessary
right.
at all.
Absolutely.
I just did it because, what
Why
do
not?
you do
Yeah.
when you're young and your parents are like, "Hey, go off and do college." You're like, "Okay."
I guess I wanna do hospitality, I'll go get a degree in that.
Hospitality, yeah.
No, that makes sense.
So that's what I went into, but yes, please.
People get really upset when they feel like you messed something up, and it's like, "I'm just a girl."
Well, I'm just a girl, but also just like I really did not mean to be disrespectful because I understand too, like, but in hospitality, truly, it is all about the experience. And when I was in college for hospitality, they told us they're like, do not expect to be able to get a high level degree or a high level job just because you have this degree. The experience is way more important than
Absolutely,
but
absolutely.
tangent aside, so went to school for hospitality, got my degree, and then I was working in hotels for a little while after that. And then it was actually one of my friends who loved Disney who was like, "Girl, you need to come work for Disney." She had just gotten hired back as a cast member after everything that happened with COVID, and she was so happy to be back. And she was like, "Please, please, 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 please come to the dark side." And I was like, "Okay, I guess I'll go apply for Disney." So I applied, and because I already had all the concierge experience, I wanted to go work at hotels. Also, people who work at Disney either come to absolutely adore their workspaces and or come to absolutely hate it.
Oh, no.
So I very carefully did not want to work in any of the parks because I did not want to come to hate the parks.
Yeah.
I did not grow up in a family where we stayed at the Disney resorts ever. So I had no emotional ties to any of the resorts for that experience to be ruined for me.
Okay, that makes sense, that
So
makes
like I'm
sense.
gonna go work here and then I get all the benefits of being a Disney cast member
Yeah.
without ever worrying about, oh, am I going to come to hate these
That makes
locations I'm
sense,
in?
that makes sense.
And then I transferred into Disney Floral and Gifts, which if anyone has seen my video talking about this, they outsourced that. So I got the call from HR that I was working there for a little over a month. I had just gotten into Floral and Gifts, and I got the call from HR, and they were like, "Hey, besties, so we're outsourcing this part of the company. You can either talk to your union rep and go and find a different role, go back to your role in concierge, whatever you want to do, stay with Disney, get all the benefits, or you can leave Disney and come work for this third party company if you want to keep doing what you're doing." And I loved what I was doing, but you wouldn't be a cast member anymore, and you wouldn't get any of the cast member benefits.
Oh, no.
And I was in such an extremely lucky and privileged position where I was already working at Disney part-time because I was doing social media part-time. So it was then for me a thing of like, all right, well, I guess I'm going to take the leap and try content creation full-time. And it's now been over a year.
That's crazy.
Yeah. No, the anniversary of Disney Floral and Gifts closing just passed.
That's wild.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. But I still go to the parks like we went yesterday.
Yes.
We got so
Yes.
fun up.
Oh my god, I loved it. We had the best
I
time.
still go to Disney, but now that I did break my rule and I did work in the parks a little bit because
Okay,
part of
okay.
Floral and Gifts was going and setting up events at the different theme parks. So last night we were passing by England pavilion,
Uh-huh.
and someone was setting up an event just
Oh,
where my event space was, and I was like, "No, this is why I didn't wanna work in the parks," 'cause I had this, like, heart pain moment of, like, "That used to be me. That used to be my job." Disney Floral and Gifts was the perfect job for me.
oh. So what is floral gifts? Like, what were you supposed to do?
So Floral and Gifts was a lot of different things. In the title, Floral and Gifts, we had the floral department who made flower arrangements and everything. And then we also had the basketeers who made gift baskets and other such things. And you could, and you still can, as they're a third-party company, you still can order these gifts to your hotel room for your Disney stays. So we would drop off these beautiful things to the resorts, and it would be this amazing magical moment for these families. But also, we helped with the Disney weddings, the fairy tale weddings, and any kind of corporate events. If interested, any sort of decor or flower arrangements at their events, we would go do that. So that's why I got to go to the parks,
Yeah.
because I was used to setting up wedding receptions and corporate luncheons and all these different things everywhere.
I
And it
love.
was it was not a job for the faint of heart. You almost had to have ADHD. Yeah, I had to have ADHD to do this job because you had to do so many things at once and know so many different places on property and be willing to
Wild.
drop one thing and go do something else. Like, you had to be very flexible and very, like,
It's not for type A people.
no, oh my gosh.
Oh, no.
No, but yeah, they finally got rid of it, and I was like,
Oh, that's so devastating. How long were you at Disney?
I was at Disney for over a year.
I thought you were there longer. Why did I think
I
you were there longer?
almost 2 years.
Okay, okay.
I was just a few months away from my 2-year mark.
Wow. For some reason, it felt so much longer.
Hell yeah.
That's crazy. Okay, so what are some of like the best and worst parts from your experiences working as a cast member?
So some of the best parts is that you do have the company backing you, and there's something that is really amazing about working for such a globally loved brand.
Yeah.
And Disney in recent times has been, kind of coming off as more penny pinchy, and I won't deny that I kind of feel like that is a problem recently. But for the most part, if you have the power to make a guest happy, and you have the power to help them, and seeing people come to check in with me, and they would start crying out of happiness because they're like, they thought Disney, we're gonna have all these amazing memories that we're making with our families. And there were some people who they said, like, this is gonna be our last trip with grandma that she's gonna be able to make. So they were so excited to make the most of that trip. And it was just so wonderful. So being part of something that is that big really is so wonderful. The downsides, almost like that's double-edged sword, is that high expectation.
Yeah.
Things go wrong, and just as those intense emotions of happiness can raise up, so can the intense emotions of one thing has gone wrong and my entire vacation is ruined.
Oh God.
And you're forced to interact with that, and those intense emotions, and you know that the guest isn't mad at you as a person, they're mad at the situation, but it's hard. In your everyday life, you don't have people coming up to you and yelling in your face about how you've ruined their entire lives.
Yeah.
If there's someone wants to join us.
Oh my God, Leia, the cat. This is the only cat in the entire world that I'm allergic to, but I still love her, and I will never not give her love when she asks for it. It's Jessica's cat. She's got the shit. We're stairs. Come here. Come back. Come back. She'll be back. Come here. I hear you yelling. She'll come back.
She'll come back.
They always do.
They always come back.
So I think like another problem that I used to hear, like you and other of our friends that are
Mhm.
cast members, or some still are, so we of course will not name names.
No.
But we don't want to get anyone in trouble. But I think that Disney has such a reputation for the magic and making us
Mhm.
happy, and we wanna do whatever we can, that sometimes there's a lot of entitlement that can happen in Disney. Like, one cast member sent me a story about how, and you know this, we were just talking about this yesterday, how the lightning lanes or the fast passes, like the virtual queue, like it changes so often. Please make a decision. Please make a decision, okay? Well, you need to, are there fast passes? Are there lightning lanes? Do you pay for it? Is there not? Do some rides have a virtual queue and some don't? Which ones do? This isn't a part of the regular lightning lane pass. You have to get a sit. Like, Please make a
Even
decision.
better, just bring fast pass back.
That was I love that.
So
I love so
good.
those that don't know, Fast Pass, you literally walked up to an attraction, you pushed a button, it printed you a ticket and said, "Hey, if you were to stand in line right now, you'll be at the front at this time. So this you have like a 30-minute window. Come back at this time to ride this ride." That was beautiful. It was free, it was beautiful. I loved it. Now it's like lightning, like, which is fine. But one of the cast members sent me a story about how she was working an attraction and a guest came up and was like, "Hey, I can't find the lightning lane button." Or, "Hi, Leia, I can't find the fast pass button." And they're like, "Oh, we don't do fast passes anymore. We haven't in a couple years. It's now the lightning lane now. You can go ahead and purchase that on your app, or you can go up to a cast member, get it situated in your on your little paper pass if you don't have the app." And they're like, "Well, what do you mean I have to buy it on the app? Like, fast passes are free." And they're like, "Oh, again, sorry, fast passes aren't a thing anymore. We now have lightning lanes." Well, I want a fast pass. We don't have fast passes anymore. We have lightning lanes. Well, this is Disney and it's your job to make me happy. So I want you to figure out how to get me a free fast pass because I'm not paying for a lightning lane. And she was like, "I just work here, my guy. Like, I don't make the rules. I'm not making you pay for, like, we physically don't have fast passes. It's not like I can even just give you one. We don't have it anymore." "Well, you're ruining my vacation and you're just the worst person ever and I'm going to complain about you and I'm going to get you fired and what's your name?" And she's like, "Have a magical day."
Yeah. I have a friend, I'm not naming names. I have a friend who works in Epcot guest relations, and I admire her so much. Can say F you without saying it with a
Have a magical day.
but not even, because she's just so good at steering the conversation, because if someone were to come up to her with that same exact thing, she's very quick, and the thing is with guests who are in that state of sometimes there's a processing time that has to happen. When someone is told no, or they're told something that doesn't line up with what they're expecting to be told, the brain ends up kind of buffering, and there have been so many interactions I've had with people where we go back and repeat that, like what she did, where it was, "No, we don't have it. It's called Lightning Lane." "Well, I want Fast Pass." "Well, we don't have that. It's called Lightning Lane." "But I want Fast Pass." It's like, I just told you we don't have that, but they're like, "I don't care what
They're
you're
like,
saying.
"Whoa."
This is what I want." So she would just be like, "I'm so very sorry. I know that thing, change is very hard, but this is the way that it is now. I can get you help with the getting this set up. If not, that's okay. I hope you have a great day. Goodbye." Like, she's just so and I didn't even say it as well as she did. I wish I could bring her in here and say this,
"Say this,
because
please."
she's just so good at being able to, and with a great big smile, but she's just very, no,
Yeah, Disney cast members are so good at
they
that.
are, but in a way, it's almost unfortunate that they have to get to the point where they are. People have been accusing cast members more recently of being ruder, but the thing is, unfortunately, with all these changes that Disney is making, cast members have to say no more often, which just saying no is being construed as being rude,
Yeah.
and it's not
Yeah.
magical. And the thing is, it's not the cast members' fault.
No.
I don't know if you heard about everything going on with DAS.
No. What's that?
So DAS is the Disability Access Service.
Okay.
It used to be much more all-encompassing,
Okay.
and it was never an easy process, but it was one that most families could make the effort to get through. Was it being exploited? Absolutely.
How would you say I don't know anything about this, so just for anyone that doesn't know.
So DAS allows people to, and essentially it's kind of like was FastPass, but it allows people to select the times that they want to go experience rides and get that expedited entry for whatever reason they may have. Usually, some people with chronic anxieties or who have medical conditions where they cannot physically stand in line, because that's kind of what it all boiled down to. DAS allows you to have that extra service, or have that expedited service, because you physically, in one way or another, cannot stand in line.
Right, okay.
Disney recently decided to really crack down in a way that
They haven't before.
they haven't before, and frankly has been a cluster fluff.
Oh
It's
god.
been really, really bad.
Okay, so what are the new stipulations?
Those new stipulations, I believe, is that you can only qualify for it if you have autism.
Oh.
Which, yes, that's absolutely a qualifier, and that's always been a qualifier, but it shouldn't be the only.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not gonna name names and tell stories, but well, I will tell stories, but I'm not gonna name these stories. Uh, so they also outsource the process of getting approval for it, where some people don't know. So now we're going to a call center to get approval for the service. My friend who works at Disney literally had someone have a medical episode while on camera with the person who was telling me who was telling them you don't qualify. Person said, "Yeah, you don't qualify." And the guest started to have a visual medical episode right there. And it's like, "Get
What do you mean?
and this friend has told me that like every single person keeps being denied. And it's like they cannot physically wait in line.
Wow.
And
And it's the third party's side. It's the third party's
the
fault.
third party's fault. And I mean, I say third party. Definitely feel free to correct me on this, any customers out there, because it might still be through but it's not with the people it used to be.
Right.
The people,
You're right.
it's new people who are part of this approval process.
And they probably don't have any like qualifications to judge medical needs. That's so infuriating.
Awful. It's so awful. And you know what's even worse? And I think they're getting better about this because when they first rolled it out, it was just atrocious. You could not get it until the day you were going to the park, and you had to already have a ticket. So what happens? And Disney very much does not offer refunds.
Yeah.
For tickets.
Right.
It is all over the fine print everywhere. No refunds on your tickets. Well, you get this ticket expecting to be able to get DAS. You go to the parks and you're denied. What are you supposed to do?
That's
There's
so
this
messed up.
is what you need in order to get through the lines. And then you can't even get a refund if you say, okay, well, then I don't want to spend my day and my money at Disney. And they say, no,
Sorry.
mm.
Oh, I hate that. That would stress me out.
And though, oh, it's awful because who is taking the abuse for this thing that
The cast members. No, yeah,
they're
for
the
sure.
ones who asked for this.
No,
They're not the ones who are
making the rules.
decisions. I mean, this friend who has to help people apply for DAS, they ask her, "Hey, can you please help me with my process?" She is not allowed to. So that's even worse. Your cast members are telling me, "Hey, this is the thing you have to do," and then you're like, "I don't know," because a lot of many people, with who need DAS are not, necessarily good with technology.
Right.
So now you're setting them in front of this very,
Intricate
in
thing.
process, and they're saying, "Hey, I need help. What do I say?" And the cast member is like, "Can't help you. Sorry, not allowed."
And the cast member gets the crap
And
for it.
and gets the abuse for it.
Oh, I hate it. Feels like teaching again. Getting like PTSD. I'm sweating thinking about it. I understand that so wholeheartedly.
A lot of these changes that Disney's been rolling.
Oh.
I briefly mentioned the college program, or not the college program, the college reimbursement.
Oh, yeah, that they're not reimbursing college for the college program
Not like
kids anymore.
they scaled it back ridiculously.
And that's so rough because college prices in general for like so many people rely on that financial aid to go to college.
I mean, our friend Ryan literally got, I think, 2 of his degrees thanks to Disney.
Disney college program, and now people don't have that kind of access anymore. How much they changed it? They used to cover it in full. What they change it to now?
They no longer cover master's degrees whatsoever, which I think are the degrees that Ryan got.
Yeah.
So lucky.
Those Homeland Security wires.
Yeah. So I know they don't cover masters anymore, and they only cover, I believe, up to $6,500 for the year.
That's so
That's
crazy.
it.
That's wild. Oh my God.
You know what's even kind of more grody?
Oh no, what?
That is the maximum amount that they can require for it to be a tax write-off. Anymore, and it no longer matters.
So Disney, come on.
You are a multi-billion-dollar company with parks around the globe. Like,
How about your people? What? Like, what's the allure to the Disney college program aside from working with the mouse? If they're not like that's supposed to be such a big perk and that's supposed to be such a good opportunity for people who otherwise wouldn't be able to attend college. That is pretty much nixing an entire socioeconomic group from being able to participate in this kind of thing.
One of my friends just moved down, so she used to be part of the Disney College program, which is offered to people who are currently enrolled or, like, I think 1 semester out of college if they've graduated.
Mhm.
She used to be part of that program, then she completed her program, she moved back home. She just recently was able to get back down to Florida to go work for Disney so that way she can earn more towards another degree, and
And
it's
now it's
so
go
cool. Now what
oh
she
my
gonna do? That was the main driving factor. Like, yeah,
trying to get
that was a driving factor.
don't make any sudden movements. The cat is back. I love you even though you want to kill me. This cat she's a beautiful cat for those who can't see. Oh, she wants the belly rubs. I'll happily give them to you, my love. If you can't tell, my voice is a little scratchy because this is the one cat, again, the one cat in the world that I'm allergic to. And she wants to kill me. It's fine. Hi, beautiful girl. Her name is Leia.
My name's Leia.
Hi, sweet baby. Will she kill me? Yeah. Does that mean I'm not gonna pet her? Absolutely not. Every cat deserves love, even if it will be the end of me. Anyways, so
Yeah, so
what are some other so go ahead if you still have more to talk
no,
about
no,
on that.
but just but all that to say though, with well, okay, clap. So the getting rid of that program, that sent a ripple through all of the cast members.
As it should.
Now,
Yeah.
my friend was at work when that announcement came out, which by the way, was just like a random Tuesday when Disney was like, "Oh, by the way, we're not doing this anymore." Tee. And so she was at work and she looked around at all of her fellow cast members and you could just tell it was like 10 degrees colder at her workspace, which that's not a very fun place to be.
No.
You don't wanna be somewhere where and it's unfortunate because many cast members love what they do.
Right.
They love being part of this company, they love making the magic for people, they love putting the smiles on people's faces, and they're not getting that same I mean, there it's kinda cheesy, and I know all the cast members kinda roll their eyes at it, but Disney always says, "You are the magic. It's all backstage. You are the magic. Cast members, you are the magic. We love you. You are the magic." And then you go and you take away these benefits? Like, that
Um,
doesn't feel very magical.
no, I'll never forget when they announced, so for those that don't know, in my state, my year of starting teachers was the last year to receive a promise of retirement.
Oh.
Yeah.
And why would
Why would you ever wanna go into teaching and not get retirement? There was discussion that, and I ended up leaving. I don't know how this conversation ended, but there was discussion about, like, do we really need to provide benefits? Like, so, like, I feel I relate to that so hard of, like, man, I'm still working at 8 o'clock at night. I haven't even had dinner yet. What do you mean people after me aren't even gonna get retirement? Like, they're gonna do the same amount of work. They're gonna deal with the same cut. So, like, you just feel so helpless and you feel so gross. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't understand about the Disney College program is that so many people joined to be able to go to college, they wouldn't have been able to afford it without it.
Yeah.
I think that people just assume that anyone who signed up for the Disney College program is just a Disney adult and so obsessed.
I'm just remembering, so there is a slight difference. It's Disney Aspire is the
Oh.
degree program.
Okay.
You have the degrees. The Disney College program
Okay.
is slightly different.
Okay, what's the difference?
Basically, the Disney College program is an internship
Okay.
sort of situation at Disney. I don't believe you get any sort of college reimbursement for it,
Got it. Okay.
but you do get that job experience, and traditionally, it does actually help with moving up through the company. You don't
Okay.
have to be part of it. You don't have to have been a Disney College Program kid, but any Disney cast member will probably tell you that it does appear that college program alumni do tend to get favored.
Okay. Okay.
Just that way the comments
Okay, so what's the other one? The Disney
aspire. So
Okay.
Disney Aspire, like you're aspiring to a goal. And that was always the thing.
Okay.
As part of Disney Aspire, we want you to further your education and we want to invest in you.
Got it. I didn't even know that they were two different programs.
Right. I couldn't remember until, like, just now
That's okay.
the name for it, and it just came to me. Yeah, so Disney
Interesting.
is what they cut back.
Got it.
But then it
Okay.
also could trickle down to the college program kids because they are, and I say kids, most of these people are adults.
They
Uh,
feel like kids to me.
oh, big
Oh, Leia, what's wrong, sweet baby? You're okay.
no. My widow puffball. But they are adults. But they do feel like little underweight.
They're like the age of my high school babies.
Yes, yes. But it can, I mean, that trickles down to them
Yeah.
because they look at other, alumni, and they look at the cast members that are full-time and part-time that they work with every single day, and they see their morale dropping. And Disney College Program attendees are absolutely some of the most dedicated, starry-eyed people because many people who come and do the Disney College Program are coming from all around the country.
Right.
So, I was lucky enough to I grew up in Southern California, and then I moved to Florida. I've had a Disney park in my backyard my whole life.
Right.
But you think about people from Montana, Michigan, Ohio, all these places where they maybe are lucky to get to Disney once every other year, decade.
Yeah.
Maybe they've never even been to Disney. There are many cast members or there are many college program kids who their first time stepping foot on Disney property is as a Disney college program cast member.
Wow.
And that's so cool because they've grown up with hearing about how amazing the park is and how amazing it is to work for them. So imagine looking around now and you see all these full-timer, part-timer alumni who are getting all of these benefits stripped away, and the corporate is making their lives so much more difficult with all of these changes, and then not necessarily offering the appropriate amount of support. Because that's another problem too, is cast members are given these changes and they don't feel properly supported with enforcing them,
Yeah.
with trying to explain them.
Yeah. They're just kind of like being, hey, go learn how to swim.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, what they usually will do anytime they roll out something new is they will have people at all departments who will they're kinda like, extra trainers who will bring people aside and say, like, they'll do, like, a little kinda round table of, "Hey, here's the newest thing," and they'll go through, like, a whole presentation of, like, "Hey, here's the thing. Here's what we expect people are gonna be asking," and all that stuff, but that preparation can only take you so far,
Yeah.
and then once you're actually in it and enforcing it, someone might bring up something that you didn't think of. And then you're like, wait, how do we address this issue? And then your managers are having to go contact their managers or having because the corporate, the structure of Disney is insane.
Yeah.
You have cast members, and then you have like FSA supervisors, and then you have coordinators and leaders and co-leaders, and it goes up so far. I can't even remember the whole hierarchy, but it is a lot of
Oh,
people.
gosh. It's so complicated.
Oh my gosh, it's so complicated.
So then, like, what do you think some other misconceptions about being a cast member, like, that the general public might have would be?
That's a good question.
Obviously, one is that cast members can't tell you no. Yeah, cast members can tell you no. Ah,
I mean, I don't believe I was ever told as a cast member, "You cannot say no."
no, people just think that you can't.
Right. I do think that we were if I remember correctly, we were encouraged not just to say, "No, go away." You're always supposed to help offer
Yeah.
solutions or, certainly we were always told, like, you can't just, like, refuse to answer a question.
Yes, I did hear that. Or you can't say, like, I don't know.
Right, yes, you're not supposed to say, "I don't know," but at the same time, you could say, "I'm not," like, you could
I'm not an expert in that field. Let me go check.
I'm not comfortable, like, talking about something I'm not familiar with. But there's a game, Taboo.
Uh-huh.
I'm so good at Taboo.
Yeah.
I so did because all of being a cast member was learning how to say something without saying, like,
I
a
don't
couple
know.
keywords. So, yeah, I have to, like, do the Taboo, prompts where it's like, "You have to say this, but you can't use these words." I'm so great at it.
I love that so
Oh my
much.
gosh. Most cast members, I guarantee you, are fantastic at Taboo.
Do you have a specific instance that might come to your mind of, like, a guest maybe thinking you couldn't tell them no?
Um I feel like it was really different working at the resorts versus the theme parks. I'm not sure if I ever had a guest. Well, kind of yes and no. I would just have people who, very similarly to the lightning lane story, would think that I could make magic, but they would think that we could just make things happen. Honey,
Like
I
what?
am the bottom of the totem pole. Like, oh, so back when you had, I mean, you still have to have park reservations,
Right.
but it's not nearly as strict as it used to be.
Okay.
Back when you had to have park reservations for everything constantly and they'd be booked out months in advance, we would have people who would roll up and be like, "Hey, so we're here for a week. We haven't booked any park reservations. Oh, by the way, it's the week of Christmas. You can make it happen for us, right, though?
No.
You can make it happen. You can get us into all the parks." And it's like, no.
No.
These parks have been booked out for over a month. Why did you never get park reservation?
You made me think of another story, and you might have even been the one to tell me this, maybe. I know we've talked about something like it before. I don't remember if someone sent me this or if you told me about it. But there's a cast member who was checking in a woman, and she just something just felt very off. The woman just looked like happy, but also, like, miserable at the same time, and she just had this box with her while she was checking in, and then, "Hey, welcome to Disney, so excited that you're here," and was trying to interact with her, trying to, like, raise the spirits, you know? Oh, that was a terrible pun, and you don't
I'm gonna map this box.
anyways, uh, come to realize, like, try was kinda, like, looking, realized that this box had a name and dates on it, and realized that in this very elaborate, beautiful box was the ashes of her young daughter who passed. And this woman, like, wholeheartedly had this plan to go to Magic Kingdom and spread her daughter's ashes at the park. And the cast member, this is a hotel concierge, she's like, "You can't, hey, I you can't do this." And she's like, "Oh, but this is the happiest place on earth and for my daughter." And she was like, I'm going to tell you this not to hurt your feelings, but you need to understand the reality. Not only is this a biohazard, your daughter's going to get vacuumed up. Like, they don't just leave dust around Disney. So if you want her to stay in a special place, you can't do that here. And I feel like you and I have talked about
Well,
people.
I have a similar story. And it's not that one.
No, okay,
It was good though.
yeah,
I
it's
complete-
too common. It's more common than it should be.
if Disney allowed people to just spread ashes,
There'd be all ash.
it would be everywhere and it'd be a biohazard. And I'm sorry, but like, your family is not the only family that loves Disney. There are billions of families who love Disney and who would absolutely, lovingly, and respectfully spread their ashes throughout all the different places. But you can't do that.
Can't do
No, and no exceptions can be made because you make one exception for one person,
No,
that. So your loved one will get vacuumed up. If you want, you're,
so morbid. This is like a children's park. Then why would you? No,
no.
not in a haunted mansion either. It's not. Don't do that.
You will not be the 1,000th happy hunt, that's for sure. It just
Tell me your story, cause we had a yeah. I knew we talked about this before.
so this didn't happen to me. This happened to a poor college program kid. I was there at the job because I went in the back office when he was like, "What in the world is going on?"
Okay. Oh
Yeah,
no.
that's why when he started the story, I was like, "Oh, this sounds familiar." He had a woman come check in, similar thing. She was very like, welcome to Disney. Are you excited for your vacation? Oh yeah, we're happy to be here. Okay, well, what's going on? You have any plans? Whatever. And she says, well, we're actually here because my mom is in hospice. She is at the end of life, and it was her dream to live her final days at this resort.
I have chills.
And he went, excuse me? And she went, yeah, so we're gonna need a ground floor room. We're gonna bring in all of her hospital equipment, and in the next 2 to 3 days, she is going to peacefully pass away, but she wanted her last wish was to pass away at this specific resort." And he was like, "Is that allowed?
Is
Is
that
that
allowed? Is that allowed? Can they plan to do that?
allowed?" So, in the world of hospitality and hotels, people do pass away in rooms. It is not, I would say common, but it happens more than I think people think. Like,
Okay.
one of those things, it's not like every day. And certainly, I saw this rumor that was like, oh, every single hotel room, someone's, died in every single hotel room in the world. Like, no, that's not true. And even I wouldn't even say that like someone has passed away in every single hotel around the world. That's just not true. But it does happen where people do pass. But usually we're not warned about it.
Yeah.
Usually people don't tell us that they're coming with the
To do that.
intention of leaving this world in a Disney hotel room. So but the thing is, like, you can't really tell them no.
Okay, so that was allowed.
That
She
kinda.
Okay.
Basically, I mean, this was a very strange new case that I don't think any of our leadership had ever experienced.
I would hope not.
So he was like, and the poor guy, like, this was something a lot of us who have seen a lot in hospitality were like, okay, yeah, okay, whatever. This poor college program person, this is probably one of his first or second like big jobs that he's ever had. He was very shaken by it.
Poor
And I
thing.
felt so bad for him because he was very much like, this is like the spookiest thing I've ever experienced. And we're like, funny, baby. I don't think it's worse from here. Like anyone in hospitality can tell you, like, ooh, you think you've seen it all? You
No, bless his heart.
But management did get involved and they said, okay, well, we're gonna have our leadership be in contact with you. We're gonna let our housekeeping managers know because that's also something that you don't want to just send an unsuspecting housekeeper into a room to then bear witness to a person who is gone. So they're like, we're gonna talk to our housekeepers, see what we can do with it. You know the kind of funny part though?
Hmm.
She ended up being fine. I mean, not fine, but like
She
her stay ended and she was still with us and they were like, "Well, we're just gonna check out." So she just
left. Oh, no.
why is this poor college program kid got all like the leadership in a tizzy just for it to be like, "No,
Never mind.
still around, grandma."
She decided she's not ready
She
yet.
got her second win at her favorite resort at Disney.
I wouldn't even gosh. That gives me so much anxiety. Well, can you think of any other misconceptions people might have about Disney in general?
Well, kind of along the similar
Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready.
women who think that if they give birth at Disney, their kids get like lifetime passes.
People think that?
Yes.
What?
Yes. That is a very common misconception that if you give birth at Disney, your kid will get a lifetime like pass to go to the parks. No.
No, please have your child in a safe environment, not at a theme park.
Please don't have your kid on Disney. There are women who are heavily pregnant who will go like on their due date or around their due date and try to induce at the park because they think
At the park, not even at a hotel, at the park?
they fully think it has to happen at the theme park. Usually Magic Kingdom. They think it has to happen at the theme parks.
Ma'am, this is a Wendy's.
NYC's
I I don't understand. Like,
just for mother and child.
well, like even like there are so many children around. Please don't go into labor around the children. What? Gosh, I thought the craziest misconception was the bubble.
Oh, the dog.
I love the bubble. Okay, so for those that don't know, I'll just put in the story that someone sent to me because that was when I first found out about the bubble. Cast members at I think it was even Magic Kingdom, right?
Probably.
Cast members at Magic Kingdom. And it was, it's Florida. It doesn't always there's not always bad weather, but when there is, it's not a fun time.
And certainly during summer, it's raining at 3 p.m. every single day.
Right, and then it'll rain for 10 minutes and stop, and that is Florida. Magic Kingdom, it's a rainy day, and this cast member sees this guest look so annoyed and so angry and just stomps on over and is like, hey, can you do something about this? And it's just pointing up to the sky, and the cast member's like, do you want an umbrella? There's a gift shop. I don't want an umbrella, okay? I know you only turned this on to go make us buy umbrellas and ponchos. Can you go ahead and turn it off? And the cast member was like, what? And he's like, the rain. turn off the rain.
Oh, so she thought all weather was Disney's control.
This is in the bubble. It's in the Disney bubble. They have weather machines. Don't you know? Disney has weather. And it say with a straight face. What do you mean turn off the rain? This guest believed there was a giant bubble around Magic Kingdom that they could control internally the weather. They could make it sunny or rain or hot or cold. Yeah, they thought that they could turn the rain on and off in the bubble, and they only turned the rain on to sell the umbrellas.
I didn't know you could turn off and on. I knew that people would be like, oh, can you close it because it's raining? Like, close it so the weather is nice. I did not. Wow, I'm not surprised.
Well, that's obviously how the controlling the weather started. I was on the Zoom call. My people, we control the weather now, apparently. Yeah, you weren't invited to the Zoom call? Don't worry, it's fine. I saw my friend Mai on there last week.
Oh,
That kills me so much. Yeah, people think there's a bubble around Disney.
it's a bubble. People, kind of a more lighthearted note too. I think that people also don't know how big Disney World is
Compared to Disneyland, too.
Disneyland. Like I'm a Disney World girly. I did grow up in Southern California with Disneyland, but like I mainly moved when I was a little tot, so I don't remember it very well. Actually, recently, a couple of years ago, was my first time going back to Disneyland as a full-grown adult, and I was like, whoa. Because number one, when you're used to Disney World, everything's like backwards.
Yeah.
And you're like, why is Galaxy's Edge right next to Frontierland? What the heck is going on? But it's big. Disneyland is bigger than I perceived it to be as a Disney World girly, because everyone always says like, oh, it's so much smaller. It's still a very big park.
It is. It is.
There's still big parks, but just, Disney World has 4 of them. But Disney World also has 2 water parks.
Yeah.
They also have 2 miniature golf courses.
Mhm.
They also have many full-blown golf courses. They also have horseback riding.
I didn't know that.
You can go horseback riding at Disney. It's at the Hospice Ranch, which the horses that pull like all the carriages and everything and are part of the parades, like that Merida from Braid rides, those are Disney horses.
I didn't know that.
For my mom grew up on a ranch with horses. She loves horses to death. Haven't really been able to be around horses very much since moving to Florida. One of my birthday gifts to her was horseback riding at Tricycle D, and she loved it. It's really cool too, because you can also go into the equestrian center where you can see all the horses that they use for the parades and everything, and you can also see some of the most old ornate carriages that I love to use. It's really neat, but that's something that a lot of people don't know about. Like, there's so much activity that you can do at Disney that is outside the theme parks. You can also book fishing excursions.
That's
You want to go fishing. One of my friends he loves fishing. He's a cast member. He's desperate to try to get into that role, but it's one of those roles that like people retire out of. They get into a fishing guide at Disney and
they stay. They're like, this is great. I never want to leave.
Imagine if you love fishing and your job is just to take guests out on a fishing excursion every day.
That's amazing.
Come on.
That's the best kind. That's living it up. I
Yeah.
love that. What are some other things that people might not know or understand about Disney? With anything Disney.
Let's see. I mean, other than just like not being miracle workers.
I mean, they're still people.
Yeah,
They're still just human beings.
Disney also is not. It's I as with my experience working in it, Disney, the magic is the manpower.
Yeah.
Because it's all the things that Disney is able to do, it seems so like insanely flawless. It's because they have so many people.
Yeah.
When I was working Disney Floral and Gifts and we were setting up events, my job was to walk in, maybe place down some floral arrangements and some decoration. That was all I did. Then I looked over and you have housemen who are rolling in tables. You had linen people who were bringing in the linens. You had lighting technicians. You had audio designers. You had the decor like specialists for the visual effects. You had and I just looked around at this massive operation that would just come in.
That's so
Everyone knew their role too. That's the thing, is the
expertise.
expertise
That's
goes behind
beautiful.
it is amazing. People came in and they just they did their thing so quickly and so precisely, and then they were gone. And
Beautiful.
like, that's crazy, but it is purely a manpower thing. Like Disney doesn't have some special secret Krabby Patty sauce or a Krabby recipe that no one else has. They just are able and have the means to and are smart enough to really employ a lot of people to get in there
I love
and do
that.
the thing.
There's a few things, few general ideas and concepts that I really want to talk about and get your opinion on. I already know what you're gonna say, 'cause I know, but like, there's a few things that really just tick me off,
Okay.
and one of them is because like you just mentioned how hard Disney cast members work. Like they really work hard, put their all into it. Nothing pisses me off more than people who go to the parks with the sole intention of antagonizing guests to get reactions on camera.
Right. Oh, yeah.
I hate it so much.
And cast members do not leave the people alone. They're just trying to do their job.
Right.
I don't even this might be kind of a hot take. I don't even like the people who like respectfully go up and are like, "What's your favorite food?" on camera.
Yeah, no.
I appreciate the content creators who say, "Hey, we asked this cast member what their favorite food is and we got it." But if you're walking up to a cast member and you're shoving something in their face,
You should never do that to a person in general. What makes you think that just because them working at Disney gives you the authority? No.
oh, and honestly, like in my opinion too, I wouldn't even like ask because like people are like, "Oh, well, I asked the cast members and they said it was okay." They probably feel uncomfortable saying no.
Yes. Yes.
They probably don't feel like they have the power to say, "No, thank you. I don't want to be on camera.
No.
I don't want to talk to you." So
No.
just don't.
Leave them alone.
You
Just
can do it respectfully, and you can make your content, do your thing without even having to put someone's camp.
exactly. Even worse are the people that try to get the cast members in trouble.
Oh,
Because, like, you know, the people who hang out with Disney characters.
people who are friends with.
Uh-huh. Right. And we both have a lot of friends who are friends with characters and hang out with characters. And so for those that don't know, like when someone is hanging out with a Disney princess, they are fully immersed in that role.
No, they need to be 100% in character. They cannot break it. Like, and there can be like slight things that they've had to adapt to, like iPhones, for example. I mean, back when people first started being friends with characters, they usually didn't have like iPhones and live streaming and things. So now they've adapted to say like, "Oh, what's that magic mirror in your pocket?"
Yeah.
A superhero might be, or someone in Star Wars area might be like, "Oh, what's that cute, comms device?" But
Yeah.
it has to be in character and
Right. And they can't talk about people in other universes either.
universe.
So I'll see like people think it's so funny and so quirky and they'll go up to Cinderella and ask her, "What's your favorite SpongeBob episode?" And it's like, you know, she can't talk about that. You're just being a jerk. It's not funny to mess with someone at work.
And they also can't repeat things. Like, "Hey, Cinderella, say skibbity toilet."
Nope.
Not
No,
the-
no.
Why?
You know they're not going to do that. Like they're at work. You
So my tip, so here's the thing that's unfortunate with that too, is it has led many people who are friends with characters to be a little bit nervous or scared or more reserved when interacting with adults.
Yeah.
Because they're waiting for that adult to try to get one over on them. So my recommendation, if you want to have a really good interaction with the character, open with their name.
Hey Cinderella.
Hi, Cinderella. Hi, Rapunzel. Anything like that to kind of signal, hey,
Hey, I'm here not to get you in trouble. I just want to love you as Cinderella.
want to talk to this amazing character that I love very, very much, or whatever. And also, I recommend, if possible, look up your own questions. Have a question ready. Back when I was meeting characters a lot, because in college it was like my favorite thing to go meet characters, because I was also friends with party princesses. So I would go as a bit of research, like,
Mhm.
oh, what do the Disney princesses say? So I would go ask them questions that maybe, my party princess friends would experience and be asked. But I would just start Googling things. I was like, just Google, what questions to ask Alice at Disney. And my favorite is I asked Alice, "Miss Alice, what's your favorite tea?" And she said, "Oh, like curiosity, of course."
Oh, I love that answer.
What a that's so cute. Oh, yeah, I loved it.
Something else that, so like obviously I knew we were gonna be on the same page about that.
Uh-huh.
But something else, two things I want to ask about. One is the idea of Disney adults, because people love to throw that term around, and I hate it. Because even like when we were hanging out with the Discord guys the other day, they're like, "Rebecca, are you a Disney adult?" And I'm like, "No, I like Disney, but I'm not a Disney adult." Not that there would be anything wrong with that. Like, first of all, if someone is a Disney adult, why can you not just let them be happy? I don't understand. No, you're looking at me.
It's gonna surprise you.
Okay,
I
okay.
have kind of a hot take.
Okay, go ahead, go ahead.
Think that there is a difference
Okay.
between adults who enjoy Disney
Okay.
in a respectful and I would almost say what is the word I'm looking for? Just in a very like a bit more casual way. And then I think the Disney adults who have given any adult who enjoys Disney a bad reputation are the ones who go too far.
What would you consider too far?
I would consider too far being the kind of people who demand absolutely no change from Disney, people who come over and they absolutely cannot like a 10-cent difference on a menu item and they're losing their mind.
That's the thing, people do that?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Or there are Disney adults who think that because they go to Disney every single day and they interact with like characters and cast member every day, that makes them like best friends.
Yeah, okay. That's too much.
Should get special privileges and they expect the special treatment just because they dedicate their lives to going to like this theme park all the time. Um, I
It's kinda like pick-me's a little
yeah, a
bit.
little bit
Okay.
like that. Like I would say that the ones who have given Disney adults a bad rep are the pick me Disney adults.
Okay, so I just consider those pick-me people, because they're the same people that go to, like, the coffee shop and they're like, "Give me my usual." "Oh, you're brand new? Well, you should just know." Like, that's what that.
Go up to characters.
I
They'll
hate
be
that.
like Snow White. Oh my gosh! Like how have you
Wait.
been, girl?
I
I'm
know.
not even like it's just even worse than that. It'll be like
Okay.
they'll be like, "Hey, don't you remember I told you about my dog's thing?" And so I was just like, or there was actually a very extreme case. There was this guy who was so obsessed with Snow White,
Oh, no.
and he would go like every single day. And the thing is, Snow White canonically has brown eyes,
Right.
but there are many people who are friends with Snow White, so on different days, Snow White's eyes may not be brown because especially contacts can cause irritation, color contacts. So there are times where a person might be approved to go hang out with Snow White even though they don't have naturally brown eyes. This guy became so obsessed with this one specific person who was friends with Snow White because she had naturally brown eyes. He was like, "You are the Snow White. You're so perfect." Like, creep to the max and made this poor person extremely uncomfortable. And then there was one and he somehow there was someone backstage who was leaking this specific person's schedule because he was always there when she was there. There was
Oh,
one
that's
day
so gross.
she switched her schedule and he showed up to the park. It was not her who was there that day. He flipped, lost his ever-loving mind, and finally got banned from the park because they were like, You are acting
Too
way
obsessed with the
too you were
person.
doing too much, sir. This is way too much for a theme park." And like there does come a point where like, yes, we've been preserving the magic by trying to say, friends with and everything else. But at the end of the day, this is a person
This is a woman who should
trying
feel safe at work.
job, and Snow White loves work. She whistles while she works. Not in this situation.
No. That people get so weird and creepy with the princesses sometimes. Like, someone else sent me a story about how, they were a Club 33 member, which for those that don't know, Club 33 is this secret, air quote,
Yeah.
I call it like the Millionaires Club kinda
Yeah.
thing. Like, it's not, but it is. It's
Yeah.
like,
It's an exclusive club at Disney that has it thrives off its exclusivity.
yes, it's very exclusive.
Mhm.
And someone approached a cast member at Club 33 and was like, "Hey, I need you to put together a little something in the back with me and a couple friends, and feel free to send a couple princesses over. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge." And they were like, "No." And he's like, "Well, this is Disney. This is Club 33. Like, I pay enough money to get what I want here." And it's like, "Sir, this is a Wendy's."
This is a
No, no, that's
There
gross.
is a very unfortunate like attraction
That
towards.
that's so disrespect. Like, at the end of the day, this is a Disney kids park. And like, yes, there are a lot of adults who love and have fun. Like, we love and have fun. But there's like, be appropriate. This is a kid-friendly atmosphere.
And certainly harkening back to the whole Disney adult thing
Yeah.
real quick, I am an adult who loves Disney.
Right.
I would even say I'm a Disney adult, but not
We're not
like
the pick-me Karens.
pick me Karen way, but also there is something to say too for most people who love Disney to that like almost fanatical degree or to a point where people think it's like too much are women. So, of course, anything that women really highly enjoy and love is automatically too much and problematic and Disney adults. So, there's also to say that too. There are absolutely problematic Disney adults, but at the end of the day, unfortunately, I think a lot of the hate does come down to just like, oh, a woman is obsessed and happy
And like something, can't have that.
and makes her happy and excited.
I wouldn't even consider some of the behaviors that we talked about. Like, I wouldn't even label that as Disney adult. I would just consider that a pick me Karen because they do that at coffee shops and restaurants and whatever. Like, I'll just never understand why people get so weirded out and offended because someone enjoys
I think
Disney.
it's just
Like,
it's
just let them.
all it's the perception that Disney is just for kids, which it's not. I
It's
mean,
not.
it's really not. I mean, look at us, what we did yesterday.
Yeah, we had so much fun.
Get around the world.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is a family-friendly park.
Yes, and that's fine. That's like my even just our content
Yeah.
in general is not just for kids, but it's family friendly because if kids come across it or if moms are watching and don't want to worry about kids listening, like that's why we're very conscious about the words that we use and the topics that we talk about. Like it's normal. That's a normal thing and that's fine. That doesn't mean it's just for kids. It's just family friendly in case there are kids around or a part of whatever.
And I will say that for me, and as a woman, I love going to the Disney theme parks because I know I'm as safe as I'm gonna be
Right.
out in the real world. I mean, there's stuff could happen anywhere, but we go through backtrack.
Yeah.
There are usually families and children around. So if I would like to go and be by myself or with some other friends at a theme park, I feel safe.
So safe doing it at
I
Disney.
would
Absolutely.
go out to Disney and drink, and some people might say, "Oh, that's so weird because you weird little Disney doll." I'm like, no, it's
No, I would go drink at Disney rather than some random downtown Orlando bar. What?
certain that I will hopefully not
Be
enter a
fine.
very scary situation
Right.
because I am at this theme park versus some not so bright. But there are just people who the people who will inevitably comment on this video and say, "Oh, we are Disney adults."
No.
I'll be honest, I have never liked clubbing. I have never liked partying and things like that. That's just my preference.
And that's fine.
And people also just have a preference to not like theme parks and think
And
that
that's
it's just
okay.
and that's also
Some people don't like Disney. That's fine. I'll never understand why it like bothers some people so badly that someone has different interests in them. It's so weird. Enjoy what you enjoy.
What you
It should never if what someone enjoys isn't physically impacting you or harming you, like you shouldn't care. Mind your business. Like it's so weird. But another interesting take that I see some moms have, not all, like this is a very, very small percent of moms. Very,
the very vocal minority.
of like, why are there childless millennials at Disney? And I'm like, because I want to be there, Karen.
Huh?
I also would like to go see Cinderella, Susan. I love that woman.
Also, keep in mind too that there are many people who they have grown into adults without ever getting to experience. Like your kid is very privileged that you have the means to take them to Disney at a young age. Some people never got that.
Exactly.
Or like me, some people
We grew up on it.
Yeah.
Like it reminds me of my childhood and it reminds me of like when my parents took me when I was a kid or when my mom or my dad would sit down and watch movies with me. Like it's nostalgic and I enjoy that and I enjoy reliving that and remembering my very fortunate and privileged childhood with my parents who loved me very much.
And like newsflash, just because you turn 18 at the stroke of midnight doesn't mean that all of a sudden all your interests
Change.
overnight.
I still feel like a child. I'm 28.
Gosh, I do not feel my age
No.
whatsoever.
It's so weird when like the entitlement of, well, all mothers with kids should be able to cut the lines. And again, not most moms don't believe that. Like most you moms, you killing it. There are some people that well, moms with kids should cut the line. Well, you're not the only mother with children here. Like,
Literally.
what do you're still gonna be like way back there. I don't know what you're
So,
thinking.
moms with children. Oh, you mean the like one child and the 7 other adults? Because you put
Yeah.
mom and dad and grandma and grandpa,
Mm.
father-in-law, and
Right. Because you all want to see baby's first time at Disney, and that's great. But like, no, you're also a big group of adults at Disney. Like, what are you doing?
that's the other thing too is unfortunately it's like the bean soup recipe.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what if I don't like beans?
Then don't get
Then
bean soup.
then don't make the bean soup.
Yeah, then don't do it.
If you don't want to be at a place where like anyone can go, like, go to a children's park.
Yes.
Like there are parks that are for children.
Mm.
Go there if you want to have a purely traditional like family experience where everything is centered around the child. But guess what? You're gonna be bored out of your mind.
Yeah, because Disney's for
Disney's
everyone.
fun.
I don't know if I told you this before. So for those that don't know, when me and Jessica love to go to the parks together, we have the best time.
We literally had the
And
best time
we,
at the park.
especially when we do like Magic Kingdom, we go see the princesses because we love them. And we both have friends that are actively hanging out with Disney princesses. And one of the times that we were going to go see Elsa,
Uh-huh.
and you remember that,
Yeah.
we had to go back a couple times because there was a slight, you remember,
Yeah.
there was a slight scheduling issue.
Seriously, huh?
But one of the times I went to go check, that you didn't come with me, I was talking to the front cast members and I was like, hey, is so-and-so hanging out with Elsa right now? She said she was about to be here. And as we were talking about the scheduling conflict, kind of like, oh, she'll be here in like a little bit, la, 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 la," there was a mother who literally asked me, you're going to see a princess? How old are you?
No.
And I just kind of looked like I was shocked. I guess she didn't hear the first part of our conversation. Not that it's any of her business.
Because your business.
But I was just like, oh, I think at the time I was, what, 26?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'm 26. And she's like, so you're going to hold up the line for the other kids? And I just looked at her and I was like, I've known this woman for like 3 years and I haven't seen her in a while. And I'm really excited to give her a hug at work,
Yeah.
in character. And she was, oh, well, I didn't know. And I'm like, but it's not really any of your business. If I just wanted to go see Elsa and give her a hug, I should be able to go see Elsa and give her a hug. Like, the 5 seconds it's going to take for me to give her a hug and take a picture is not going to ruin your child's day.
No.
You're fine.
No.
You're okay. Your kid is 3 and is not going to remember this trip anyways. This trip is for you. Let's
Kicker. That kicker is like, how dare you, as a person without a child, go do this very selfish thing when, and that might be the bad word or wrong word to use.
It's entitled, the entitled
Great
thing.
Go do this when I feel entitled to do the same exact thing, except I have a kid with me, so that makes it okay.
Yeah, but your kid's not even going to remember it. They're like 3.
This is purely
This is the 3-year-old.
to enjoy and like take a picture of insert. And again,
Right. And
we love people with kids.
yes, for sure. And you're having,
Wait to take my little like bench kids to Disney.
it's bonding. Like you are having bonding time with your child. You are seeing them happy and full of joy. And that's beautiful for you. But don't act like the childless millennials are ruining your kids' time. They don't realize what's happening and they're not going to remember the trip. Like, yes, they're having the best time of their life here with you. You're going to remember the details. You're going to remember the child. It doesn't bother the kids. Let's not kid ourselves.
Honestly,
They love it.
happy to be. So you could take them to a water park and they'd be just as thrilled as if they went to Disney.
Exactly.
But like you want to provide this memory for them as a parent, and that's wonderful. But also there are other people who exist.
I know, that's crazy. Other people live on this planet? That's wild.
That is another big misconception, I think.
That you're not the only person on this planet?
I was stuck in the biggest misconception that people have at Disney is that it is not all about you.
True.
This is your vacation. And also too, I remember whenever I was waiting in line, I would talk to people and I would tell them, oh, I come to Disney to relax. And they're like, well, how can you possibly relax at Disney? And I'm like, because I let things happen. I go, I allow myself to be changeable and I know that like I might not necessarily get to do everything exactly how I want to do it, and that's
It
okay.
happens.
That's okay, but you're okay.
It's fine.
Disney will still be here, I promise. Like, for all the good, the bad, and the ugly we've talked about, like,
It's not going anywhere.
here to stay.
Can you, before we wrap up, are there any other misconceptions or last thoughts or anything that you want to share before we, which of course, like,
Yeah.
I've been doing this a lot more lately, love, like, when conversations are so good, and I'm like, I'm sure people have more questions, like, for sure feel free to leave comments in the questions, because we can totally do a part 2.
I would love
1,000%, like, that would be so much fun.
Yes.
We should have, like,
This kind of became like a stream of consciousness.
honestly, that would be so much fun if, like, we had Ryan too and did, like, a part 2.
Yeah.
The Ryan needs to hang out with Spider-Man. Yeah.
Because I was never friends with the characters at.
Or, like, even Karina or anything. Yeah,
Yes.
that would be so much fun.
That would be really fun. I would say, like, just since this is a cast member centric episode,
Right.
I would say that my parting words would be to just be nice.
Yeah.
You never know the kind of day that a cast member has had. There are so many times that a cast member has to go from someone screaming in their face
Yeah.
to turn around and say, I can help the next guest. The amount of times I did that, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have a panic attack about this later, but I have a job to do.
Like, reminds me of switching classes.
Oh my God, just be nice to cast members. Understand that they do want to help you.
Yeah.
They want to give you the best day they possibly can, but you're gonna have to work with them, not against them.
Yeah,
Just
for sure.
as you want fast pass, we all want fast pass.
We have the fast pass. We all gotta pay the $17 for the lightning lanes, okay?
We all
I know.
But what you can ask instead of demanding a cast member bring something back that they can't, say, hey, how can I make my day work then? I don't have the budget or I don't want to pay for lightning lane.
What do you recommend?
Seems like a man. And see what the cast member tells you. They might say, hey, wait until this time or go and try something from this angle. Just work with them.
Like a tip, a cast member told me this years ago of, like, when you can't do the lightning lanes, like, hey, do dinosaur in the morning at Animal Kingdom, because in the afternoon is when it gets busy, because everyone wants to go in when it's hot. If you do it in the morning, in the evening, the line's gonna be shorter. Like, these are the tips that cast members can give you. If a lightning lane's not in your budget, that's fine. Ask these questions. They can help you find times in areas where, like, to make things work. They want your time, they want your vacation to be magical.
Yeah, and
Just ask the questions.
just be kind.
I love it.
And remember that they are magic. Disney would not be anything that it is. Like, your experience at Disney would not be nearly as good if not for them.
I have one last tip
Yeah.
that I think that everyone should do.
Mhm.
For those that don't know, on the Disney app, you can actually give compliments to cast members.
Compliments.
Yeah.
Usually what is best to know if the cast member is being really sweet to you, and the amount of times I have whipped out my phone and said, I would like to give you a cast compliment. It's okay if you don't have the time to do it right then
Yeah.
and there. Get their first name. Preferably get either, if they're a college program kid, get the college that they go to because usually it's on their tag. Get either their college or where they're from because it'll say, where they're from. Get that down. And then remember, even write down like where you saw them.
Yeah.
Because there might, I think another
Like, give them props.
quick misconception. There is a misconception that like cast members can't have the same name.
Oh,
There can't be two Alexes at Disney.
I didn't know that was a misconception.
Yeah, there might be a thing where they try to avoid having the
In, like, the
exact-
same general areas. Yeah, that makes sense.
But I was never asked, like, hey, your name is Jessica. Can you be Jessie instead? Like, they never
Oh, that's
asked
weird.
me. But remember where they are. Like,
Okay.
wherever they're located. So, for example, I met a great cast member named Kate over in the Land Pavilion at Epcot, and she was from New York. And then when you go to give the cast compliments through the app, it'll ask you for as approximate as you can. So try to be as close as you can, but those make such a difference. It boosts morale. I printed out a lot of my cast compliments that I got because
That's really
helped.
cute.
And for the purpose of them advancing their career, leadership absolutely looks at cast compliments.
And you can do it on the app?
Mhm.
Okay. On the
A
app.
Disney Experience or the Disneyland Experience app.
Oh, okay, yeah, do those. They deserve them. Thanks so much for hanging out with me,
I'm not gonna let you go home.
I know.
I'm just gonna keep you here
Where
forever.
though? I
You're not allowed to go home.
I miss you so much. I have to come more often. I know. I have to come visit more often. Oh no, do we have to go to more Disney?
So sad. We only did Anna looking at the Epcot. Next time it's gonna be Hollywood Studios and Magic.
Of course, but we have to do each one a full day.
Mm.
Yeah, we don't have these Magic Kingdom.
That's true. That's true.
We don't have these Magic Kingdom.
Oh, you wanna know what I did with a friend for her birthday?
What?
We actually did a whole competition of how fast we could hit up all 4 of the theme parks.
Oh,
Have to
it's the economy.
let's do speed bump challenge. Disney speed
Oh no! Well, if we must, it helps the economy. Is it? I love that
I
lane.
love that
That line.
that line.
That it's why I
Our
just
new vocal stem.
it's what I justify most of what I do. It's for the economy. Thanks, Lois.
Thanks, Lo.
Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I mean, we're gonna keep hanging out, but like obviously we're gonna turn the cameras off. I love you so much.
I love you.
And as always, I mean, we're all obsessed with Jessica. It's not like Jessica's new on my page or anything like that. This is like what, the 4th time. Well, mine's the shorts, all the shorts,
All the shorts.
all the short videos. But thank you guys for hanging out with us. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll see y'all next week.
Have a magical day.
Bye, my lovelies.